shout out to Tinker Hatfield. I don't know if a lot of people know that name, but Tinker Hatfield designed like almost all those shoes back there, and one of my favorite. Yeah, damn near all of those back there. So shout out Tinker. Um, this logo, the head and the heart. This is something that like when I was a kid, I would make comic books, and you know like Superman had his logo, Batman had his logo. I put my hair back so you can really see it. And so like this is just what I drew on my character so that was like them. And then you fast forward, I had a friend, childhood friend who graduated Harvard Business School, and I was asking him, you know, we talking about business or whatever, and he's like, "Dude, you need a logo that's beyond you, that's bigger than your name." And so I came back to that space in my childhood, and like this just it captured it for me. It was like the yin and the yang, the balance of thought and emotion, the balance. You know what I mean? Like that kind of dichotomy, good and evil, I guess if you call it that. But it's really just different ends of the energy spectrum, and then the balance in between, and like even like you know it's black in the middle where that balance point kind of hits. And so yeah, everything is all my design. I think like I even got the shoes on right now, and I mean like I just do this because I love this. I didn't really ever think that like it would continue to grow into a thing. I needed a logo, and then I put it on shirts, and people bought shirts, and then the manufacturer for the shoes like was like, "Yo, we like what you're doing. Would you design some shoes?" And people bought those, and then I realized at the time that I was like obsessed with shoes, and then two things happened simultaneously, like within a week. One, a good friend of mine randomly gave me Phil Knight's book, Shoe Dog, and Phil Knight is the head of Nike, and that book like changed my life. Shout out to Phil Knight. The cowards never started, and the weak died along the way. That leaves us, ladies and gentlemen. I'll never forget that quote from that book. So shout out to Phil Knight. And in that same week, I seen like an advertisement that FIT had a thing for like sneaker school, and they gave me a scholarship, and I was enrolled in the sneaker school, and I had Phil Knight's book, and like a handful of shoes sold in like that same week, and I was like, I guess this is like a thing, you know what I mean? Like, and so I dove into like the sneaker school courses and learning like the history of like why this is even a thing now. And so you know, as time progresses, I really want to grow, and I've gained such an appreciation. Shout out to FIT for even giving me this opportunity and you know let me now get more and more knowledge and access to the game. So I don't know, we're gonna see where it continues to grow to, but this was all like a huge glorious mistake. But the only thing that ties into it is like I went back and I wrote another graphic novel, and you know it features like you know the logo for the character, and he wears like the sneakers in the comic book, which is pretty cool. And when the album comes out in November, that'll be packaged with the album so that you'll be able to get it. And you know, it's I didn't do it intentionally. Again, like some of these things are intentional. They just you create from like the heart, like as pure as possible, and then you look back later. But like I guess you'd say like it's a black sci-fi, or like a you know what I mean. Like it's just the people that are in my life, and we happen to be like a colorful batch. So. But then I look when I like look and I like go through the pages, it is like, whoa, I've never seen like this before, like, or for me, like in like a sci-fi kind of like setting like that. So it's dope. And again, it just brings it's what as you create, like there's no limits, there's no boundaries. If you can figure out how to make it into a product or a thing or a link, you can make it a fucking link, and you can monetize it. Then you can like turn your art. And because then people enjoy it and they consume it and they find value in it and it means something to them and they relate to it, and you can support and sustain yourself. So like just that mentality is like dope. But yeah, what did it teach me about myself? Probably that, just like if you tap into the like you know most pure place, and then you do the things that you love and you put a lot of love into them, and then you figure out a way to like roll it out kind of cool. And connect it with the people in a cool way, like you ace it. You know what I mean? And then just ace it every time, and then like repeat it and refine the process. And like that, every book that I've ever read about entrepreneurship, even Phil Knight Shoe Dog, it was like, yo, we just tried shit. We tried to come up with like the coolest ideas that we could, and put as much love into what we did, and a lot of it didn't work. And then a couple things worked well. A couple things worked out really, really well. And then we refined the process, and we learned from our mistakes, and we reinvested, and then one day you look up and you see more and more growth. So, you know, that's all it is. Yo, how many mixtapes did Gucci Mane make, bro? That's what, and like there was a point where I wasn't a fan. I didn't care. But at some point, the consistency, Gucci is a legend to me now. You get what I'm saying? Yo, so fuck what anybody say, including me, right? Like, yes, if you stay consistent, if you fail, because what is failing other than like you did something great and people didn't recognize it, or you could have done it better, right? Like, that's it. Like, you know, especially if you put love into it. Now, if you do some goofy shit, then like you deserve the results of like. But if you did something dope and it just didn't go over, or didn't do the numbers that you wanted it to do something dope. Go back in the gym. That's how I hear Kobe in my head. Like, and the story that he told of how he got better, because he wasn't nice, right? Neither Kobe nor Jordan was like nice at first. It wasn't like they just came out the womb and they was that dude, right? Like Kobe, he tells the story. He was in the summer league and he was a scrub, and it hurt his feelings. And then he looked at how much they practiced, and it was like, yo, they practice twice a week. So if I practice 7 days a week, every day, I can get that much better. And by the time next summer rolled around, he was that. And two summers later, he was the best player in Philly. And I think the next year he was ready for the NBA. But like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's the other part. Is if you're ready to fail and deal with that, then you're also ready to go and put in that much more work so that you don't fucking fail, so that you get as far away from failure as possible. And even Jordan lost in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, so you got, even then, like, there's other people who are just as hungry. There's other forces, but you eat that. You don't let that. The only way you fail is if you quit. Honestly, like if you quit or you let failure become what you are, right? But like if you take an L and then you go back and you get stronger and you come back, you beat the Pistons. You know what I mean? You beat the Detroit Pistons and Bad Boy Pistons, and you get your ring and you start your dynasty. So it's always just mindset. So it's always just mindset. It's always just how you choose to look at it, and then boss up or not. And it don't get easier. Man, it's like any video game that you play, think about it. It don't get easier as the levels go up. You just get stronger. You just get more skills. You get better weapons. You move faster than you did when you first started playing, and like a couple of threats threw you off guard. Now you ready. You could take out 10. You know what I mean? You could hit the combos. It's the same thing in life. So like, it don't get easier. You just get better. Always, you just get better, and you got to be ready. And you can't, like, if you decide to not get better, the game still don't get easier because you took a day off. You know what I mean? Like, the young boys is out there.